Hey everyone, it is SamWestGG, and today we're going to look at some light dark Nat 4s, and obviously Nat 5s and Nat 3s as well, but really want to focus on some Nat 4 dark and light mons that perhaps you may not necessarily have had that much exposure to. So the first one, we're actually on Ice Age PT's account. We did a summoning session for him a little while ago now, but this is his account because he has some fantastic light dark mons. As you can see here, he's got all of them leveled up, basically, all of them that, well, every single light dark Nat 5, Nat 4, and probably even Nat 3, well there's some Nat 3s here, that he has ever pulled. So great account to showcase. He also has a lot that I don't have. So the first one here is Diaz. He is amazing in Rift. I see him used quite often in R4 and R5. So looking at his skills, unleashes a fatal blow on an enemy, disturbing their HP, recovery for 2 turns with 50% chance. Need to get some skill ups in here because look at that effect rate. Second skill, attacks the enemy 2 times and weakens their attack power and defense for 2 turns with a 75% chance with each attack. This attack deals more damage according to your max HP. So right there suggesting you definitely want to ruin HP. If you're using him in Rift, strong defense is always a way to go as well. And then a passive, any monster with passive is usually pretty awesome. This one decreases the chances of receiving a critical hit by 50% and reduces the damage that other allies receive by 15%. Doesn't stack up with other damage reduction effects. So really handy. Again, this is why he's so good in Rift, given the reduction in crit hit and damage received. Super handy. And that resistance leader skill is also really handy in Rift too. So really awesome mon. And let's have a look at how he's been run. Ooh, HP. So he's got him on a split set, and that's because he's obviously using the best possible HP runes that he has, which is probably a pretty smart way to go. I definitely want to be looking for defense subs, and some speed would be handy as well, but you know, speed's usually good on all of them. Accuracy wouldn't be bad to land the debuff, but nevertheless, that's a good rune. That's quite a nice rune. And resistance, always good. So maybe look at resistance over speed potentially, depending on where he fits in your team. But definitely defense, or HP. A combination of either of those. Depends on whether you really want to maximize this skill or not. You know, really, what are you using him for? If you're putting him in front line, then you want defense and HP. If you want him more for his passive, then consider where you want to put him in your team and max out that HP for sure. Veramos. Everyone loves Veramos. Won't go into that. Most people have a pretty good understanding of him, and there are so many videos purely showcasing Veramos on his own. But this is Zinc, and I actually had one of him, pulled one of these a while ago, and never really did anything with him. So really keen to see how Ice Age has decided to rune him. So first skill, strikes an enemy with a hammer and stuns the target for 1 turn with a 15% chance. If the target is under defense reduction effects, its attack speed is decreased for 2 turns. So you put a slow on effectively, and damage increases according to your defense. So it could be quite a hard-hitting skill according to your defense, and also with a small chance to stun as well. And look at that, it does go up pretty high, so 10, 20, 35%. There we go, so it goes up to a 50% chance, I believe, which is pretty handy. Swings the hammer, attacking all enemies and decreasing their defense for 2 turns with a 50% chance. Damage increases according to your defense. So that's actually really nice synergy with this first skill here, suggesting that you definitely want to max out defense on this skill. So just looking at this already, I'd be going defense. Depending on, I guess, where in your team he really plays a key part. You could look at a full guard set if that's all you've got. You could look at violent guard if you're really wanting to maximize the amount of turns that he has as well. If you're early game, swift guard would also work. Swift energy if you're really early game. Third skill, let's look at that. Attacks all enemies 3 times each, dealing damage proportionate to your defense. Each attack has a 50% chance to reduce the target's attack power and block beneficial effects for 2 turns. That's awesome. I really like the blocking your beneficial effects. That's super, super handy. Particularly if you've got him ruined really fast and you come up against Chloe teams. If you can get that one on, then that would be really handy. Mantura! So, oh, actually we didn't look at his runes. How did he rune? Old Zinky boy. Defense, crit damage, defense. Awesome! Really good way to rune him. And he's gone to Spare Blade. Okay. See, crit rate, if you can get your crit rate high enough, then that would be amazing. Wow, that's a great rune to max out, particularly for Zinc. You don't mind a bit of resistance. And crit rate's actually not too bad. That's a very impressive rune set. Defense, crit damage, crit rate high enough. Awesome. So Mantura, Sonic Boom, like all of the... Oh, what are these things? Yep. Mind blank. But they all have this first skill, Sonic Boom. Attacks the enemy with strong Sonic Boom and removes a beneficial effect with a 75% chance. Excellent. Attacks the enemies to decrease their attack speed for 2 turns. The damage will increase according to your max HP. Slow is always handy, just depends on... so again, you've got 2 max HP skills, which is good. Attacks all enemies, weakens their defense and deals continuous damage for 2 turns. The damage of the attack is proportionate to your max HP. And then we've got a leader skill of HP plus 21% in Arena. So let's see... HP, accuracy, okay, that's interesting. Perhaps because that is all that was available. Despair, I'm not too sure about, given that the... Oh no, that's all enemies. Yeah, okay, yeah, could work, could work. I guess it just depends as well on where you want to use him. If you're using him more so in Arena, then, you know, just for the... I'm assuming potentially for the leader skill, then not necessarily looking for defense. You'd really, sorry, for despair, you probably want to go more speed. Arman, everyone knows about Arman, and likewise Darian. Kabila, she has the fastest base speed in the game of all the mons. Look at that, 120 speed. She also speed buffs, which is amazing. So if you're looking for a real advantage in Arena, something a little bit different than Bernard or Orion, you could definitely look at Kabila. So first, and she's a Nat 3 as well, so these two are also Nat 3s. Zinc and, what's his name again? Mantura. So Kabila attacks an enemy with fizz kicks, may weaken the enemy's defense for 2 turns with a 50% chance. Hurls razor sharp feathers to attack enemies multiple times at once. And increases the attack bar of all allies by 30% and decreases the chances of being hit with a critical hit by 50% for 3 turns. That is fantastic. Such a good skill. Obviously not quite as all-round as Bernard, given that Bernard also does a defense and attack break on his second skill, and he also gives you the speed buff. This just buffs your attack bar, but does do your crit damage reduction as well. Super handy right there. Alright, now what's next? Alright, so next up, Taru. That's an interesting one. Obviously Nat 3. Oh wait, is he Nat 3 or Nat 2 actually? Interesting one to build. I don't know anything about him. Attacks the enemy with a spear and increases attack speed for 2 turns if you get a crit hit. Are you going to? You are not going to crit hit, sir. Okay, that's a no. Throws a light ball and stuns the enemy for 1 turn. And attacks an enemy that penetrates the enemy's guard. This attack receives a 50% crit rate bonus. Interesting. So this one you get an extra 50% crit rate bonus. I'm assuming that would be on top of Elemental Advantage. And then this one, you increase attack speed if you get a crit hit. So for this one you're wanting 100% crit rate. This one you're really needing about 30%. So I'm not too sure how I feel about him. He seems a little bit at odds. For example, like Annabelle, whose second skill, her heal, is reliant upon attack power. Her third skill is dependent on HP. That seems a little bit at odds with, I guess, what you would expect, to be honest. Aria! She's the light succubus, and she is pretty. She was a Hall of Heroes a few months ago. I think Diaz was a few months, well, a year before that. Arya is beautiful and super handy for TOA hard as well. So attacks with a bat and puts the enemy to sleep for 1 turn with a 50% chance, and recovers your attack bar by 50% if you land the sleep, which is awesome. Slaps an enemy target, slap, and disturbs its HP recovery for 2 turns. If the target is asleep, the target will be stunned for 1 turn. Reduces the attack speed of all enemies with Deluding Ray of Light for 2 turns and increases the enemy's chances of glancing hit. That's great. And HP in Arena, not that you would really necessarily use her in Arena, but awesome, awesome mon. And with this, obviously you do want accuracy to try to land each of these. There is a chance of landing buffs and debuffs, well, debuffs, so definitely want to be looking at that image. However, you also would like a lot of speed if you're going to be running her in TOA hard. So we've got here Despair, Focus, Speed, HP, awesome. What's the accuracy? Well, it's a bit hard to tell because they're not leveled up runes, but I'd certainly be looking at leveling up those runes soon. Walkers. Interesting. Shoots 3 precise shots that are aimed at the enemy's weak spots. Each hit has a 25% chance to ignore defense. Don't mind that. Attacks, and also he's a multi-hitter. Well, two shots on his first turn is pretty awesome, so potentially Necro. Fires an arrow at the enemy, removing 1 beneficial effect. Your attack bar is increased by 50% if you succeed in removing a beneficial effect. Okay, so you're wanting an accuracy for that one. And attacks and stuns an enemy for 1 turn and sets back the enemy's skill and cooldown to the full amount. Okay, so not good for Necro. A bit of a Zara wannabe, Zyros wannabe it seems. Jultan! So jealous, I want a Jultan. Attacks the enemy with claws and disturbs HP recovery for 1 turn. That's on his first skill. That is awesome. He then dashes towards an enemy, inflicting damage 2 times. Each attack has a 30% chance to stun for 1 turn. The damage is proportionate to your max HP. So you rune him, you max out that HP as best you can. He is going to be hitting like a truck on steroids. And then a passive, which we love, inflicts 12% of my max HP as damage when you're attacked with a crit hit, and weakens defense for 1 turn with every attack. That is brilliant. And then on top of all of that, we've also got a Guild Battles Speed lead, which is so good. He's a Nat 3. I want him desperately. He's the only Nat 3 Dark Light Mon that I don't have that I really, really, really want. Now, Thrain. Actually, I want Basalt as well. Thrain is the TOA god. He is absolutely insane, and I will show you why. So first skill, reaps the life of an enemy with a deadly scythe. It acquires additional turn if the enemy dies, and that's on his first skill. That's awesome, because you come in at the end after someone else has done all the big damage and you kill them and then you get on the turn. That's great. Spreads a plague to all enemies with an 80% chance to inflict 2 continuous damage effects that last for 2 turns. So that's 2 dots for 2 turns each. And then meteorites of Doomsday fall onto the enemies. That's all of them. And the inflicted damage increases with time. Stuns the enemy for 1 turn if the enemy is under continuous damage. That is brilliant. He is so good. And that's obviously without despair as well. And then he has a Dark Attribute skill there. So let's see how you've ruined him. Speed, good. HP, accuracy, awesome. You definitely want that accuracy as high as you can. Well, I'd suggest about 75% if you're running TOA hard. And we have Ran. Now she was also a monster lately. I haven't yet summoned mine. I've got her sitting there, but I'm not using her as yet. She's basically, people call her the poor man's Hua, and only because she doesn't have that same passive that Hua has. But her first skill, I mean, she does a lot of what Hua can do, just not as well, basically. So first skill, attacks the enemy with a whip, decreasing the enemy's attack speed for 2 turns with a 50% chance. Damage increases according to your attack speed. So basically we'll put a slow on. Attacks 3 times in a row and inflicts continuous damage for 2 turns if you land a crit hit. So you definitely want a crit rate. Now this one's a bit new. Attacks an enemy 4 times, decreasing the attack bar by 20% with a 75% chance for each attack. This attack is guaranteed a stun for 1 turn if the enemy's attack bar is depleted. That is so handy. And you've also got an attack power leader skill as well, which is awesome. Alright, don't know why the roach is sitting down there. Now let's look at anyone here that we want to look at. Oh, Eva. So I've got an Eva sitting around myself. I haven't used her at all, but she's sitting there. Attacks by throwing 2 cards, each having a 50% chance to remove a beneficial effect. That's handy. Inflicts damage with a sharp attack and it inflicts continuous damage for 1 turn. And storms an enemy with a flurry of attacks. This attack has 100% crit rate against targets under inability effects. If you have full HP when using this attack, the attack will not go on cooldown. Handy. I'm not quite sure where you would use her, but she is handy anyway. Wow, he has a lot of Nat 5s that he's running. Marble. I've not ruined a marble. I'm waiting for basalt. I really want basalt. Charges towards an enemy to inflict damage and provokes with 1 turn with a 50% chance. So provoke similar to Mav. Same to Mav. Stomps on all enemies and decreases their attack bar by 25% for each target with a 50% chance. This attack will deal more damage according to your max HP. That's awesome. And inflicts great damage by crashing into the enemy. The damage is proportionate to my max HP and the enemy's max HP. So that would be really good if you run him full HP and then come up against a boss. I'm assuming that would do some pretty nice damage. Frigate! Oh my gosh, you need to max him out immediately. Level him up and max out these skills. He is a god. Oh, I'm so jealous. He swiftly attacks an enemy and weakens its defense for 1 turn with a 75% chance, aka Galleon. Orders a ship to fire a bombardment of 3 rounds to attack random targets. Each hit has a 75% chance of stunning the enemy for 1 turn. Wowzers! That is insane. And then, as you can see here, it goes up to 100% chance for stunning the enemy for 1 turn. And the final skill increases the attack bar of all allies by 50% and reduces the cooldown of their skills by 1. So 50% is amazing, unheard of. Well, just seriously the best you can get, really. And then the reduction in skills is similar to Mav's third skill. That is so good. And then he has an attack power leader skill in guild battles. He needs to be maxed out immediately. He is just too good. Yeah, she's not great from what I've heard, but I could be wrong. I remember the cowgirl. She was a giveaway when I first started playing the game, and I fed her off because I thought she was not worth keeping, but now I realise that you can't just summon her again. So super handy to keep hold of her. I'm sure she'll get buffed at some point, hopefully. She shoots 3 projectiles, with each projectile having a 30% chance to slow the attack speed for 2 turns. Attacks the surrounding enemies 2 times and increases your attack bar by 10% if you land a crit hit. Your crit rate will be increased by 30%. Awesome. And attacks the enemy with a forbidden bullet. The chances of landing a glancing hit is decreased by 50% and ignores invincibility effects. That is awesome. That is really cool. I don't know why I fed her suddenly. Anyway, thank you so much, Ice Age PT, for letting us check out some of your mons. Now, I'm only going to touch on the Nat 4s in my area. Everyone's pretty familiar with Ashia, I am sure. So I'll skip him as well. Molly! Molly! So cool. So good, Molly, and it's all because of her passive. So first skill bursts a mana bubble that deals damage to an enemy and removes a beneficial effect with 50% chance. The damage of this skill increases according to your max HP. So, and the skill ups are all damage. So you're definitely wanting HP on her, and also she's a support mon, as you will see over here. So you're really wanting to get the most HP as possible. Second skill, removes all harmful effects on an ally target and casts a shield that lasts for 3 turns. The shield amount is proportionate to the monster's level. So the monster's level, that's not great, because obviously it's not something that you can play around with like you can with HP or defense or attack power, but that's fine, still a really good skill. And then here the shield goes up slightly as well. But her passive increases the enemy's chances of landing a glancing hit on an ally target by 20% and recovers an ally with the lowest HP ratio by 10%. So every time she gets a turn, ally with the lowest HP gets an extra 10% of their health back. So she's not a healer, but she is a kick-ass support mon. So I've got her on Endure Revenge Will. Will, I think, is really important if you're going to use her in PvP. Endure Revenge, just because that's the best that I had available. And I have gone max HP, as you can see here, and then my subs, I'm just going for some HP there too. So really trying to maximize that HP, as you saw. Hot damn, wadam, here we go. Performs an unpredictable attack and decreases the target's attack power for 1 turn. This attack will also increase the target's chance of landing a glancing hit for 1 turn if this attack lands as a critical hit. I don't have crit rate on him at all, so that skill never lands as a crit hit. But anyway, it's there if you choose to, if you have one and you choose to run him differently, that's great. That's an option for you. Second skill, attacks all enemies 2 times with a sandstorm and decreases the attack bar by 30% with a 30% chance for each attack. So this one's now maxed out. Did that yesterday, which is super handy. So anything that decreases the enemy's attack bar is always a great skill. But this, again, the passive, it's what he, how he makes his money. It's his bread and butter, you might suggest. Secretive Guard. If an ally receives an attack that kills them, the death will be prevented by, and 30% of your max HP will be transferred to that ally. This skill will not activate if your HP is below 30%. So I'm sure you've all come up against hot dams in Arena or in Guild Wars. You're like, why isn't he dying? Or why isn't that Theo dying? I just killed him and he popped into some duel. What's going on? It's because of hot dams passive. He also increases crit rate by 17%, but that's, yeah, I never use that skill. Eshia, everybody knows about Eshia, and he is a god. LnDs, I ruined her, so she was a Hall of Heroes from ages ago, and I originally started using her in my Necro team. I thought she was really handy in Necro. I've since taken her out because her HP is just not where it needs to be, and she dies a lot. So I took her out, but anyway, for those that have her, I wouldn't feed her off. She's not like the Water Magic Knight who you can't wait to get out of your monster box as quickly as possible. LnDs is definitely one to keep around, I would suggest. And Great Necro if that's, if you can get some better runes on her than I can. She attacks a single target for 2 times and then attacks all enemies for the 3rd attack, same as the other Magic Knights. Shoots 4 magic bullets that seek enemies with low HP ratio. This skill has a 50% chance to disturb HP recovery for 2 turns, which, when that shield is down, really handy in Necro for the boss. And then this one, if you can time it right, great damage. Attacks a target with a massive magic bullet, dealing damage according to the target's max HP. This attack also heals all allies for 30% of the damage dealt. So up against bosses, any skills that have max HP proportionate to the target's, damage proportionate to the target's max HP are really handy, and particularly in dungeons, so keep that in mind. And she does have a 19% speed leader skill as well. Hrungia! He is a god amongst men, and I so underrated him initially. I think he's absolutely insane, and you'll see why in just a minute. He is an attack monster, and he is, well, I mean, look at him, he's scary. You saw him down a dark alley late at night, you would run in the other direction. He is just so impressive to look at and to play with. Attacks the enemy twice with the axe and inflicts continuous damage for 1 turn with a 50% chance of each attack. That goes up to 60% chance for each attack. He throws an axe at all enemies and stuns them for 1 turn with a 40% chance for each attack. That is also very impressive, very handy. But this one, this is his bread and butter. This is where he makes his money. He enrages and attacks an enemy target. You instantly recover a turn and prevent this attack from going on cooldown with a 25% chance. When this attack is on cooldown, your attack speed increases and you recover HP by 10% for every turn. And look at that cooldown. That is amazing. It is so good. So basically it's built-in violent proc, and 25% chance, I have to say, it procs often. I would suggest it's actually higher than 25% because I've been in guild battles and I've actually posted a few videos as well using Hrongi in Guild Wars, and he's gone 6 times in a row and he's just killed at least 2 and then done damage to the 3rd. It's so impressive. This second skill then stuns everyone and the first skill puts dots on. It is just, he's insane, he really is. And you do get a 40% resistance leader skill in guild battles, so he's good if you've got no one else, but no other leader skill, but I don't really use that very often. It's more the skills that are just so impressive. Luna! Now I built her because of Childish. I saw he uses her in his Speed Dragons and I still don't have a Speed Dragons team, so I thought give her a go. And she's pretty good, I'll be honest. First skill, attacks by throwing 2 cards, each having a 50% chance to remove a beneficial effect. So that's pretty handy if you can get the accuracy high enough. Obviously not in Dragons though. Although actually first skill, Dragon Boss, yeah, that could work. I've got to fix my accuracy on her then. Attacks with a magic card and inflicts continuous damage to the enemy for 3 turns with an 80% chance. And then locks down the enemy target with the power of darkness, decreasing the target's attack bar by 50%. This attack increases your attack bar by 100% when used with full HP, which I never do in Dragons. She never gets full HP, and then you get better accuracy. So I probably should look at using her for the leader skill in my Speed Dragon until I can get her better. She's on Rage Blade. Her crit rate is poor. Accuracy is even worse, but these are her runes. Definitely not impressive by any stretch of the imagination. These are her stats. So accuracy, very, very shocking. I've got to show you Hrongi's stats. His crit rate is also poor, but I'm working on that. He's on Rage Blade as well, and these are his runes. So actually I might grind that out. Can I grind it out for accuracy? No. Very well. This is my Hrongi. These are his runes. It's pretty average runes on both of them. But that's fine, I accept that. And that is it for the showcase on Light Dark Monsters. Let's see if I can get a demonstration. I'll do one with Molly and Hot Damn, and I'll do another one with old mate Hrongi. Let's do Hrongi first, I think. We will actually keep galleon in because we like that. And let's see, we've got 2 water and a wind. Might put Pungbait back in too. Oh, shit. That was the wrong leader skill. That was no leader skill. Silly Samwise. My bad. That's okay. We'll still win. I was just so excited to play with Hrongi, get him out of the monster box and then dust himself off. Oh, that's not fun. Quadruple will runes. I'm still going to buff my attack bar. My attack power. I think you are the most dangerous. I don't know why, only because I have one myself now. Frenzy. Get multiple procs, please, because we're doing a demonstration and we want to show you off. Ha! Thank you. Let's go elemental advantage. So that's 2, 3, and you saw like they're not great runes on him at all. So he just got 3 turns on Frenzy, which has a 25% chance. Yeah, right. And he did a great job. Very impressive, Fungi. Oh, I should have. Oh, that's fine. We'll just get rid of you. Okay, let's stun both of you. See, he's impressive. He is so impressive. And I'm disappointed that I didn't discover him sooner. I thought he was average, and I left him sitting in my monster box. I fed my BKs to anyone and everyone else, and then suddenly I actually explored his skills a little bit more and thought, you know what, he is good. He is really good. Okay. Now what are we going to do here? Molly and Hot Damn, that's right. Okay, where are you? Hot Damn and Molly. Yeah, I think that's not too bad. Let's give it a go. Now I'm losing my attack buffer and my AoE defense breaker, so I'm definitely going to be relying on Bernard here to come up with the goods. It's fine, I should win anyway. But now I'm going to go for Verd because I want him dead as soon as possible, and they're usually really pretty squishy. That was so mean! What is wrong with you? That was just... God, great accuracy on him, good job. Now I'm going to attack break you. And I will just attack you too, because I feel like it. Now let's decrease some attack bars. Oh, we got 1. Oh, and you got rid of my defense break. That wasn't nice. So the only thing, I guess, with you wouldn't normally bring both of these. Oh, what? Oh, damn it! I was gonna say you wouldn't normally bring both of them, so Molly and Hot Damn, because you've got 2 support mons, and certainly for arena, you only usually bring at best 1 support mon, but. Just wanted to show them off because I very rarely bring them out to play in arena. They are, actually I'm not sure who's in my AD. I think Molly is, and Hot Damn might be. I've just got a stall AD. I don't have a great team, but I don't really have any mons that I'm particularly impressed with for my AD in terms of their defensive abilities. So Molly's great because she does stall, just because she's less likely to receive a crit hit, and Hot Damn keeps everyone alive if he doesn't get stripped. Let's just quickly, because now I'm curious. Ooh, too far, he fell off. There we go. Defense. Who's on the defense? Oh, okay, yes, I've got both of them on. Chassoon and Monkey. That's interesting. I don't know why I have that. You really don't need Chassoon. I should put someone a little bit more interesting. I'll go Theo. Why not? We'll see how that goes. How that fares. Anyway, that is all for today. Thank you all for tuning in for another Soundwaves GG video, and stay tuned for more videos coming up shortly. Thanks everyone!